Hi everyone, I am Priyanshi Agbar and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be sharing my resume through which I got interview calls from Amazon, Atlassian, GS, Flipkart, Siemens and Cisco, among which I cracked Amazon, Flipkart and Siemens. And I will also be sharing the tips for resume making, as I think resume making is the toughest part of a job search, and we keep this video to the point. So without wasting our time, let's get started. But before starting the video, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, then do subscribe to it, as we have planned for more such amazing content for our channel. See, the recruiters have so many resumes to go through in a single day. That's why they spend few minutes or even less on a single resume. So whenever submitting your resume, make sure that your resume stands out. So the tool which I use for resume making is Overleaf, and I will also give its link in the description box below. Whenever we apply, our resume goes to hiring manager, recruiter and ATS. ATS is the first step where our resume is scanned. So you should follow these three things to pass this step. First is adding keywords. Now ATS looks for the keywords in your resume. Like whenever applying for a job, qualification and requirements are mentioned in the job description. Like if you are applying for the role of a software developer, then in the qualification sections, if it is mentioned that BTech or MTech degree is required, and in the requirement section, it is mentioned that you should have knowledge of Java, then ATS will look for those keywords, BTech or MTech or Java, in your resume. And if it doesn't find those keywords in your resume, then it will automatically reject your resume and it will not reach to the recruiter. Your resume will get rejected by ATS only. So make sure before applying to any job, read the job description carefully, and if you know those skills, then add them in your technical skills section so that your resume should not get rejected by ATS. And second thing is that try to avoid complex tables and images, because sometimes ATS will not be able to detect the content inside the tables. So if you have written something inside the tables, then it will be useless. And the third thing is that try to avoid buzzwords like attentive, efficient and hardworking, etc. Because they don't have any significance, you can't prove them. You don't have any data or stats to prove that you are hardworking, you are efficient. So try to avoid those buzzwords as well. Now you have passed the very first step of your resume selection, which was ATS. And after this step, your resume will go to the recruiter, and he will decide whether to shortlist your resume or not. And if a recruiter is spending a minute or even less on a single resume, then your resume should not be more than one page, because in that very short time, he will not go to the second page. So try to keep your resume within one page only. And you should follow three things in your resume: that your resume should be simple, neat and easy to understand. You should use simple and easy to read fonts in your resume. If you talk about the resume format or template, then you can pick it from any well-known site. Personally, I use Overleaf, and I will also give its link in the description box so that you can edit it and create yours. And for the resume format or template, there are mainly two templates. One is horizontal, one in which all the content is written in simple straight horizontal lines. And the second is, I would say, column format, in which the content is divided among two columns. So you can pick any one of these. There is nothing wrong, right and wrong in any of these. Personally, I use the horizontal one. Now let's talk about the header section, in which we mention our name, email and contact number in case if recruiter wants to reach out to us via call. And we can also add the things to our GitHub and LinkedIn, but then you should keep them updated. And if you have good coding profiles, then you can also give their links in the header section. And after the header section, the resume is mainly divided into 5 sections. One is education, skills, experiences, projects, and then achievements. As a student, keeping education section on the top also worked for me, but you can keep either education, experience or skills section on the top. No worries in that. Now in the education section, we should mention the things in the chronological order. Means our recent or current education on the top and our oldest education on the bottom. I have mentioned only my BTech course in my resume, but if you also want, then you can also mention your 12th education as well. While mentioning, we should write from where we are pursuing, in what field, and our grades. Many students ask me that, Didi, my college is not that great. So, should I mention that in my resume or not? So, for this, my answer is yes. You should mention your college in your resume no matter what. And the second question is that, Didi, my grades are not that good. So, should I mention them in my resume or not? So, for this, my answer would be that if your grades are less than 7 out of 10, then don't mention them in your resume. You can skip them. But if any company needs your grades, then they will ask for your results separately. So, you should be prepared for that as well. In the skills section, we can mention our technical skills like programming languages, app or web development, machine learning, or blockchain, or whatever skill you have. We can also mention the platforms or databases we have worked on, like MongoDB, SQL, Git, GitHub. And or if you're not pro in any skill, then you can mention basic or intermediate in the brackets also. And one more thing is that as a first or second year students, we don't have these skills. So the question is that now what we mention in the skill section. So in that case, you can mention your coursework like OOPS, DBMS, computer networks, and operating systems. Then that will also work. But after some time, you should remove it from your resume once you have developed these skills. After this comes to the experience section. In the experience section, we can add internships, hackathons, open source contribution, or freelancing, etc. But in case if you don't have good experience but have good projects, then you can keep the project section above the experience section. Project section is a kind of alternative for the experience section. And we should add name of the company, our role, and duration clearly. And you should use bullet points to showcase your experience as they are easily readable. And you can also add numbers if possible, like I have worked on XYZ project and it increases the efficiency of ABC by 5% or 10%. So try to add them, they creates a good impact. And you can also give links to your certificates, either internship certificate or any kind of certificate relevant to the experience. Now comes to the project section. In the project section, we can add 2 to 3 projects. I don't think we need to add more than that. And we should add our good projects on the top because recruiter will start reading the resume from the top. And he will move forward only if he finds something interesting in your resume. Otherwise not. So mention your good projects on the top. And in the project section as well, mention the project details in the bullet formats and highlight the keywords like the tech stacks which you have used or any important keyword related to your project which you think that it might create an impact. So highlight those keywords in the details section. And you can also mention the duration of the project. And you should also give the deployed links of your project. But if you don't have, then you should give GitHub links, then GitHub link should also be fine. Now the last section is achievements or position of responsibilities or extracurricular activities we can say. So first you should add your achievements relevant to your field. Like if you are applying for a tech role, then you can add your highest rank in any coding contest or ICPC if you have participated or open source like GSOC. So you can add them. And you can also add your position of responsibilities or any societies or clubs you have joined in your college. And you can also add your hobbies in this section. But if you're applying for a tech role, then I don't think adding hobbies will add any value. But you can also add your hobbies in this section. The information you are adding should be genuine, not only for the achievement section, but for the complete resume. Because the person who are interviewing you are experienced, and if they ask anything related to your resume and you are unable to answer it, then it will directly impact your offer. So anything you are adding in your resume, it should be genuine. And the main thing is that your resume should look attractive. Here, attractive doesn't mean that your resume should look beautiful. No, don't think that. Here, attractive means that it should depict your skills, your achievements, what you have cracked, and what value you add. So try to make your resume attractive in that way, and make sure that after creating your resume, you are reading your resume at least twice, so that you can catch and correct these spelling mistakes in your resume. Because if there are any spelling mistakes in your resume, then it will show your lack of attention to details or carelessness, etc. So make sure that your resume doesn't have any spelling mistakes. So yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you guys have got some really good insights for creating your resume. So go and create your best resume. And yeah, one more thing is that soon I will also be reviewing some resumes. So stay connected on LinkedIn. Till then, bye guys. See you in the next video. Till then, stay curious and keep growing.